Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. How are you doing? Good. So I've got some fragrances today that I was pretty sure were gonna be trash. Just a dumpster fire, swamp water garbage. Then I got them in and turns out they were actually pretty good. Those circumstances, those times where you're reminded, oh yeah, I should not make a decision before I actually smell it. So let's jump into it. Let's check these out. 10 fragrances that I was sure were going to be terrible that were actually pretty good. We're kicking it off with Wanted by Night from Azaro. Why did I think Azaro Wanted by Night would suck? Well, the bottle doesn't help. The little tacky gun bottle, which has grown on me to be fair, but at the time that this came out, it still wasn't really loved. A lot of people still don't love it, they hate it. Of course, though, Wanted by Night is not the first in the line. Wanted is the first in the line, and that one smelled a bit similar to Paco Rabanne's Invictus. Spoiler alert, I'm not a huge fan of Invictus. So Wanted by Night gets announced, and I'm thinking to myself, great, they're gonna make Nighttime Invictus or something? I'm not really hyped for that. I'm not really pumped for it. And then Wanted by Night came out and is good. Cinnamon, fruits, tobacco, vanilla, some of the notes in the fragrance. Love the spiciness in here, very warm. It's got just the right amount of sweetness as well. Big time compliment puller. Pretty unique as far as designer fragrances go. Basically, a complete 180 from Azaro Wanted. Azaro Wanted is ripping off Invictus. It's kind of boring. It's stuff that's been done a million times. Who cares? To be fair, at the price you can pick it up for from discounters, it's an all right buy. So yeah, I don't love the whole scent profile, but I know that it works amazingly for a lot of people. That doesn't matter though, that doesn't matter. What matters is that Wanted by Night is actually really solid. I'd go as far to say that Wanted by Night is one of the best flankers that Azaro has ever done. Like one of the very best, tip top. We're gonna follow that one up with Jimmy Choo Urban Hero Gold Edition. Wow! Now, if you go onto Fragrantica, this looks like one of the worst fragrances that has ever existed, that has ever been made. It has been downvoted to death. But if you've been around for a minute, you know one thing. Fragrantica ratings mean nothing, because a lot of people just go on there and downvote things just for fun. Now, to be fair, the original Urban Hero is not good. I don't like it very much. A lot of people don't like it very much. It's boring. It's like reading the dictionary. Now, Gold Edition is not hyper unique. It does have pineapple and blood orange, so you might look at that and think, well, that's fairly unique. You don't see those paired up all that often. But really, it's just more fruity sweetness and then tonka and lavender. And while that is a combination that's been done 15 million times, Gold Edition still smells very nice. And I think it's a big step above and beyond Urban Hero. The bottle you could take or leave. That graffiti is maybe a little tacky, but I like it. Now we're gonna get a double dose of Paco Rabanne, kicking it off with Invictus Victory. I just talked about Invictus, how I don't really like it, and that's true. Most of the Invictus fragrances I'm not a big fan of. It's just never worked that well for me, but Invictus Victory does. And part of the reason for that is because Invictus Victory doesn't smell a whole lot like Invictus. It's one of those times where they come out with a flanker and it's really different. So if you're a big fan of Invictus, that one you might actually not like as much because your beloved DNA is missing. Who's the dad of Invictus Victory? Not the same dad as the dad of Invictus. This one has tonka, vanilla, lavender, and pink pepper. This is one of those more sweet, warm fragrances for fall and winter time. So I guess it does have the sweetness in common with Invictus, but this one is not bubblegum. It's vanilla. So Invictus Victory, I really like that one. And I also really like Pure XS. Now, I've talked about Pure XS a lot and Pure XS Night as well. This one, if you weren't around when it first came out, you may not realize that it was catching a lot of flack because of the advertising. Before people got their noses on this one, they were seeing the advertisements for it. The snake and this dude with no shirt on just kind of lounging, trying to look sexy or something. Because it's Pure XS, you need to take everything to the XS. This one has myrrh, vanilla, liquor, and ginger as some of the notes in the fragrance. And it's got this effervescent, sparkling sweetness. It stays deep the whole way through, though. It's a great fall and wintertime fragrance. And I was definitely one of those people that saw the advertisements for Pure Excess and thought it was going to be pretty crappy. Then it turned out to be pretty nice. After that, we're going to talk about Yop Homme Ice. Now, this one, of course, is part of the Yop line, which is a line that I'm not always the biggest fan of. Especially when I got this one into my hands. I still was basically just in Yop Homme mode, where if anybody said Yop, I just thought, oh, yeah, that one right there that smells like cough syrup, concentrated cough syrup, the kind that you would get on your deathbed as a child. Yeah, no thanks. This one, though, was very inexpensive, so I went ahead and threw it into my cart when I was making a purchase, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. It's not really icy. The name doesn't make a ton of sense to me. It's not even a great summertime scent because there's tobacco in here and sandalwood and plum. Yeah, that's your refreshing fruity note in here, plum. So this ends up being more of a fall time fragrance, maybe early spring. I think honestly it'd be better in winter than it would summer. Maybe that's why it's Yop Homme Ice. You're supposed to wear it when it's cold outside. It's not supposed to actually be a fragrance that's icy. The quality, though, and the fact that it does things differently, a little bit of a unique twist, you could say, for the price point that you can pick that up at, made it something I really liked. Now, some people don't. It is a fragrance that's a little bit divisive because, again, it does take a different path than a lot of other popular fragrances out there. But I think overall, really solid stuff. Then Varvatos Indigo is next. This one, I had heard from some people that it was trash. Complete garbage. I had not smelled the fragrance myself. I didn't order it when it came out. Actually, the first time I smelled this was walking by the fragrance counter at my local Belk. Saw it laid out there and I gave it a spray. And I thought, wait, that is actually really nice. But it was, again, just in passing on a tester strip, so I still wasn't sure. And then I got it from Fragrance Buy, and I do like it. I like it a lot. It has bits and pieces in there that remind me of older Varvatos fragrances, so it's tied in with the line pretty well. The whole line, not just the XX line. It's fresh and spicy. It's a little bit sweet, but not too heavy-handed. I think it's got a nice touch of class to it. I think it's a great casual fragrance, office fragrance. It's just a fragrance that I think smells really good, very nice. So actually, when I got that in, I had to get back in touch with the people that told me it was trash and say, hey, sorry, man, but I disagree. Is it mind-bending? No, but it's not trash. And then we're gonna follow that one up with Halloween Man, just the original Halloween Man. Now, why would I possibly think that this could suck? The name, Halloween Man? What a great name. The bottle, look at it. That is class personified. Yeah, years ago when I got this, I absolutely thought it would be terrible. I mean, the name is Halloween Man. It makes no sense. I know that there's this way that you can stretch your imagination where they say, Halloween Man, it's like Halloween. You spray the fragrance on and you become something else. Like when you wear costumes for Halloween instead of just being lame and your normal self. It's been a while since I've dressed up for Halloween though. I mean, back in the day, I would dress up like Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I don't think that's what they had in mind when they went with the name Halloween Man. Still though, none of that matters. What matters is the fragrance, and for the price, this is a really good alternative to 1 Million by Paco Rabanne, which, believe it or not, is still one of the best-selling fragrances in America, which means there's a lot of people who could potentially wear this instead of that. This does have a martini note, which is a little bit unique, along with cinnamon, vanilla, and leather. On the whole, Halloween Man is one of those fragrances that's surprisingly good. Everything about the fragrance tells you, hey, this is gonna be horrid trash, and then you get it, and it's actually nice. And then we're gonna hop on over to Bois de Bedover from Karl Lagerfeld. Another cheapie, which is the reason it found its way into my cart. Happens more often than I'd like to admit when you're placing an order and you see a fragrance and you go, you know, I've been thinking about getting that for a while. It's only $20. Let's throw it in there. Who cares? And that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. I'm a big fan of Bedover, as you guys know. So when I saw this one, I figured, let's take a chance. But my hopes weren't all that high because some of the Lagerfeld fragrances are very, very bad. Very, very bad. But they've kind of reformed their image a little bit, and the fragrances that they've been coming out with here lately are typically good. This one's a very zingy, fresh, modern take on vetiver. Not heavy, not overly grassy or green, not smoky, just very clean, fresh, and well-to-do. And that fragrance right there is the reason that I pick up Lagerfeld fragrances still today, their new releases. And then we've got Hilfiger, Impact Intense. It's a shame that this is not a little bit easier to get a hold of, because this, I would say, is the best fragrance Hilfiger has done since I started my channel. Hilfiger has a reputation, kind of like Calvin Klein, where their fragrances just muddle together in my mind. They come out, I see them, I'm aware of them, I don't care at all, they go away, I never miss them. And then they pop up a year or two later at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. And when I see them, I just think, oh yeah, that one, I remember that one. Huh, 20 bucks? Sure. This though is really very, very good. The first Impact had that gimmick with the travel spray in the cap. You only get it though if you buy a 100 ml size bottle. If you get a 50 ml, no travel spray for you. And the first Impact was not a bad fragrance, but it did fit in pretty well with that whole idea of Hilfiger fragrances just being forgettable. So Impact Intense, I didn't think it was gonna be all that much, if I'm honest with you guys. Because it's just gonna be what, an intense version of the fragrance that already came out that I don't care about? Great. No, this is like a twist on Parfums de Marly Layton to an extent. Similar style of fragrance, you could say. Warm, spicy, very sexy, big compliment puller. It has apple, amber, chestnut, cedar, and cardamom as some of the notes in the fragrance, and I think it just smells absolutely amazing. For a Tommy Hilfiger, it is so much better than you would expect. Last but not least, America from Perry Ellis. Mont Blanc came out with Explorer. It blew up. Everybody rushed to buy it when it hit discounters especially, and said this is a great alternative to Creed's Aventus. Perry Ellis comes out with America, smells similar to Creed's Aventus, fruitier than Mont Blanc Explorer, and everybody said, I have no clue what that is. What, Perry Ellis came out with a fragrance? Okay. Which does make a little bit of sense. Perry Ellis is not exactly setting the world on fire with either their fashion or their fragrances. And the one time they came out with something super awesome with Perry Ellis Black Vanilla Oud, they discontinued it. You had the hype. You had all the hype. All you had to do is ride that hype into the sunset, and instead you said, kill it, we can't have any hype here. Whew, that was a close one. So that's what I was expecting with America, just frankly something really synthetic and horrid. But no, great alternative to Creed's Aventus, smells really good, much better than you would expect for the price. This should be mentioned anytime people bring up Creed Aventus alternatives as one of the better buys out there. That's it, 10 fragrances I was sure were gonna be so bad they were gonna cause me to have instantaneous cancer. But no, I like them. And with that, I'm out of here. Let me know in the comments some of the fragrances that you were sure were gonna be trash that you actually liked. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you all later.